My name is Kyle Samani. I'm a co-founder and managing partner at Multicoin Capital.
In today's video, we're going to examine this bold claim by Kyle Samani during his presentation at TOKEN2049 Singapore 2024.
Today, I'm going to talk about why we think Sol is going to flip ETH in market cap. Some of you may already believe this. Some of you may think that's heretical, or you think it's not going to happen. My goal here is to help you at least reconsider your priors.
As you heard, he strongly believes that Solana will surpass Ethereum in market cap. That's quite a bold statement to make, but before we dive into the details, do you know who Kyle is? He's the co-founder of Multicoin Capital, one of the biggest names in crypto investing. Kyle has made big predictions before, like how blockchain-based social media platforms such as Lens Protocol could disrupt traditional giants by prioritizing user privacy, and how newer blockchains like Avalanche and Near Protocol could dominate markets where Ethereum struggles. However, his recent prediction about Solana beating Ethereum is making some serious waves. So today, we're here to dig into the numbers and logic behind this bold claim. We'll break down Kyle's arguments piece by piece, challenge his perspective, and give you our own analysis on whether this could actually happen. Think Solana has what it takes? Let's find out. So let's dive into Ethereum's core issues, as Kyle sees them.
Ethereum is 9 years old. Mainnet launched in July of 2015. I think that's really important to emphasize, and I'm going to emphasize it a lot through this presentation. This thing's been around for 9 years. They've had a lot of time to figure out how to deal with their problems and even figure out what they want to be.
So Kyle emphasizes that Ethereum's age should have given it ample time to address its issues. He then highlights 3 major events that shaped Ethereum as we know it today: DeFi Summer 2020, the shift to a roll-up-centric roadmap, and the transition from a proof-of-work to proof-of-stake. While these events shaped Ethereum, Kyle argues they weren't handled efficiently. He says Ethereum's network congestion and high fees limited DeFi's scalability. As for the proof-of-work to proof-of-stake transition, he thinks that the 7-year delay in implementation allowed competitors to innovate faster. He also took a direct dig at the Ethereum community.
I think the third major transition has been, of course, the transition from proof of work to proof of stake, which was in 2022, and that was 7 years after mainnet launched. Again, I highlight the 7 years because they knew they wanted to make the switch before mainnet launched in 2015. So they knew they wanted to do it, and it took 7 years to actually do the thing that they said they wanted to do. This community has been slow. They've never known what they wanted to do, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to emphasize here.
While Kyle raises valid concerns about Ethereum's scaling issues, it's crucial to understand the reasoning behind Ethereum's approach. The roll-up-centric model prioritizes decentralization and security, even if it means slower development. Ethereum's developers chose this strategy to maintain security while scaling off-chain. Yes, it may seem fragmented, but Layer 2 solutions like Optimism and Arbitrum are actively addressing these issues. Unlike Solana's faster, centralized approach, Ethereum's strategy is long-term, aiming for sustainable decentralization. The real question is, will this cautious method help Ethereum stay ahead, or will faster competitions like Solana take the lead? Now, onto the inefficiencies in the roll-up-centric roadmap. Let's see what Kyle has to say.
I want to talk briefly about the scaling roadmap. Quite frankly, the roadmap has changed more times than we can count. In the early days of Ethereum, there was a whole bunch of talk of sharding, plasma, state channels. If you really go back far enough, you'll remember hypercube routing, a bunch of other crazy ideas. All of these things obviously haven't panned out.
So Kyle criticizing Ethereum for frequently shifting its scaling strategies is valid to an extent. But initially, concepts like sharding and plasma were experimental.
It took them 5 years, and they committed to this roll-up-centric roadmap thing in October of 2020. Today, now that roadmap even seems to be in question, or at least partially in question. If you've been following along in kind of the public discourse, there's been a lot of talk about, hey, should we scale the L1? Should we do multiple concurrent block proposers? A lot of these other things that have been kind of more Solana or Near-centric in their approaches are now being reintroduced to the Ethereum discussion.
The community later shifted to rollups, believing it was the most scalable and secure choice. However, these constant changes have led developers to look at other blockchains like Avalanche and Near Protocol, which offer clearer, faster development paths.
We have no idea what decisions the EF is going to make on these front. It may take them 3 more months, may take them 6, may take them 9 more months, who knows. But my point to you is that the roadmap that was committed to 4 years ago today is at least partially in question and perhaps entirely in question.
This shift in focus is one reason why Kyle believes Solana is catching up. Another issue Kyle points out is that Ethereum's move to layer 2 solutions like Optimism and Base has pushed much of the network's value off the main chain. He believes that this is causing a detachment from the ETH token itself and ultimately diminishing its value.
ETH is not accruing value. The transition to this roll-up centric roadmap has very explicitly surrendered fees, both transaction fees and MEV fees, that used to go to the L1, and now they're going to L2s, L3s, L4s, whatever they are. The intent of this roll-up centric roadmap was, of course, to push transactions from L1 to L2, and they've done that, but in doing so, they also just moved all of the actual value accretion to ETH, the asset, away from the L1.
The fragmentation that Kyle discusses is indeed evident. Ethereum's L2 solutions are processing over 90% of transactions now, but the revenue generated is not staying within the main chain ecosystem. L2s like Arbitrum and Base are making substantial profits, while Ethereum loses out on transaction fees. This is valid especially when compared to Solana's model, which accrues value directly on the L1. Kyle's point about this misalignment is something Ethereum needs to address if it hopes to keep value within its ecosystem. Kyle then goes on to criticize Ethereum's shifting strategies with Solana's clear and consistent vision. He explains how Solana, from the beginning, aimed to become a decentralized Nasdaq, a platform that offers fair, open, and permissionless access to market data.
Ethereum has never really known what it wants to be. Solana has always been very focused. Anatoly founded Solana and started thinking about Solana in 2017 because he was writing trading bots using a service in the US called Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers is like Robinhood kind of a thing, but a little more advanced. You can do some more powerful trades. He was writing trading bots, and he realized that he could not get real-time market data of what was trading on the New York Stock Exchange or on the NASDAQ to write his trading bots.
Kyle's point about Solana's clear vision is compelling. Having a consistent, well-defined goal, like building a decentralized Nasdaq, gives Solana an edge in development focus and community alignment.
And obviously, it's well known that Virtu Jump, Citadel, Jane Street, all these guys have access to real-time data from the major stock exchanges. And he found that to be fundamentally unfair and unjust. He's like, wait a minute, it's a market, I should be able to trade just like them. And he is physically unable to even get the information to be able to trade.
However, it's important to note that while this vision is ambitious, it also comes with significant challenges. Solana has faced network outages and scalability issues in the past, raising concerns about its ability to maintain such a high-performance system long-term.
And so this was the core insight that led to the development of Solana, that anyone in the world should be able to have fair and open and permissionless access to market data 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The system, of course, then needs to be optimized to propagate this information to anyone who has a computer and internet who can obviously receive that market data in real time. This, of course, kind of turned into the vision that we've now been talking about for 6 years, which is building this decentralized NASDAQ kind of a concept.
The big question is whether Solana can truly execute this vision reliably at scale, especially as it competes with Ethereum's established infrastructure and vast developer community. Next, Kyle dives into the metrics where Solana is catching up, and in some cases, even surpassing Ethereum. He compares trading volumes, validator rewards, and stablecoin transfers between the two networks to highlight Solana's growth.
Over the last year, we've seen Solana dexes basically come to rival Ethereum dexes. Some weeks, Solana is higher than Ethereum, other weeks it's less than Ethereum, but it's today effectively on par with Ethereum in terms of daily trading volumes on chain. We think this is the most important thing to look at because that's the whole point of NASDAQ, is to trade.
These comparisons by Kyle shows just how competitive Solana has become. On-chain trading volume is indeed a significant indicator of a blockchain's activity, and the fact that Solana's DEX volume sometimes surpasses Ethereum's is impressive.
Next, I want to look at actual direct value accrual to SOL, the asset, versus direct value accrual to ETH, the asset. As of today, Solana, again, is effectively caught up to or is rivaling ETH on this metric. This is looking at the total validator tips paid to ETH stakers and SOL stakers in these respective systems. Some weeks Solana's higher, some weeks ETH's higher, but again, these metrics are more or less neck and neck right now.
However, it's essential to recognize that Ethereum's ecosystem remains much larger, with a diverse range of applications beyond trading, including DeFi, NFTs, and enterprise solutions.
And then the third metric I want to look at is stablecoin transfers. Here, Solana is still well behind Ethereum, but I want to look at the relative ratios here. about a year ago, Solana was at roughly 1/10 or 1/20th of daily on-chain stablecoin transfers relative to Ethereum. Today it's roughly half. So it's caught up by a ratio of roughly 5 to 10x.
Solana may be catching up in certain metrics like validator rewards and stablecoin transfers, but Ethereum's overall infrastructure and developer community are still ahead. Kyle then intensifies the argument by highlighting the technological advancements that give Solana a potential edge over Ethereum.
Now I want to talk a little bit about the future for Solana and why we think it has a couple of, really 3 unique advantages that we think are going to be basically impossible for the Ethereum community to recreate, and why we're even more excited about this thing going forward. The first is token extensions. Token extensions went live earlier this year on mainnet. Token extensions provide a lot of features that Wall Street companies want, or that payments companies want, or any major asset issuer around the world. Those include features like interest-bearing tokens, so like if you want to have stable coins on-chain, confidential transfers, and a whole bunch of other features.
Kyle highlights Solana's token extensions as appealing to institutional players, but the real differentiators are Firedancer and hardware scaling.
Next, I want to talk about Firedancer. Firedancer is a new Solana client, expected to go live in the next few days or next few weeks. I think they're announcing the dates tomorrow at Breakpoint. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Firedancer is a new Solana client being built by Jump Trading. Jump Trading is one of the largest HFT firms in the world, and of HFT firms, Jump is actually known for being the fastest. And we think this is really important because the Jump team is taking all of their accumulated knowledge and wisdom from building high-performance trading systems, and they're building all of that into the Solana code base. From day one, the vision was decentralized NASDAQ, and we're now taking one of the preeminent trading firms and applying all of that wisdom to making the world's fastest permissionless exchange.
Firedancer could make Solana the fastest decentralized exchange. Solana's hardware scaling, leveraging AI-driven chip advancements, allows growth without crypto-specific investment.
The last thing I want to talk about then, this kind of builds on Firedancer, is scaling with hardware. One of the foundational design principles of Solana is the focus on scaling organically with parallel hardware. Anatoly's been talking about this since day one, and the idea is very simple. Is if you double or triple the number of cores in the system, you would hope that the performance would double or triple of the system. Very straightforward idea.
The question remains, can Solana's tech edge outpace Ethereum's established infrastructure, or will it take too long to have an impact? So what do you think? Will Solana flip Ethereum? If you ask us, we don't think so, at least not yet. Solana may not surpass Ethereum's market cap this cycle, but there's no doubt Sol has immense potential for explosive growth. Its momentum and innovations could push it to new heights. Just not quite enough to flip ETH, at least for now. If you think otherwise, let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.